Hi, welcome everyone. We're happy to have you this evening. Okay. So Lori, whenever you're ready to go.
Good evening, Jess. You know what? I'll just give it another second or so to give everyone a chance to enter the meeting, and then we'll get started. And of course, I'm waiting for the dog to go so it's not barking. There we go. So good evening and welcome to this information session about an experiential learning opportunity where OCDSB students can earn 2 high school credits upon completion of the Explore program. My name is Lori Kavanaugh and I'm Assistant Principal of Program and Learning Innovation. Joining me this evening is Jessica McGregor and Ramsey Shuck, secondary educators with Program and Learning Innovation. And we also have Barbara Baird from Explore, and Barbara's here to provide us with an overview of the program and answer any program-specific questions that you have. There will be time for questions and answers towards the end of the presentation. We would ask that you hold on to them until that time, just in case we answer them as the presentation unfolds. Since this meeting is a live stream, you'll need to type any of your questions into the question and answer box, and we will of course prompt you to do so at the appropriate time. Since the high school credits are offered through the OCDSB, independent of Explore, we want to ensure that students have a clear understanding of what is required to earn the credits once they've completed the Explore program. So I'm now going to turn it over to Jessica to get us started.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lori. And so joining with me today, I've invited Barbara to come talk to us all. And Barbara, I would like to thank you very much for your time this evening and being here, because I'm going to give you the floor first in order to be able to talk about what Explore is, because you are one of the experts with this. And so we're looking forward to what you have to say.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm Barbara. I'm a promotion agent for the Explore program. Our more overarching name is the Official Languages Programs. And I'm happy to be here. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen before I get too ahead of myself.
Looks great. You're good to go.
Perfect. Okay. So as mentioned, I'm promotion for the Official Languages Programs. And I'm just going to give as much detail and answer as many questions as I can about our Explore program. We do have other programs as well. So if you find that your kids have really enjoyed Explore, they can participate multiple years in a row, so once a year, and then they can also even try out our Odyssey program, which is a work placement program for when they're much older. But tonight I'm just here to stick to the Explore program. So just an overview of the overall programs. We're the Official Languages Programs. We've been around for over 50 years. We're funded by Heritage Canada and managed by the different provinces and territories, as well as the CMEC, the Council of Ministries of Education Canada. And we exist in order to provide the youth, young adults with opportunities to explore Canada, see the different pockets of culture that Canada has to offer, improve their language skills, gain experiences that are worthwhile for their resume, like credits or just work experiences. And we're here to promote these cultural experiences via either like immersion programs or work programs. And so, as mentioned, we have 3 programs, and even with each of those programs, there are lots of different options all across the country. So when you get a chance, I really encourage you to visit our website, englishfrench.ca. And just last year, we also got an app, so that'll also be worth visiting and downloading, the OLP-PLO app. But for now, you can visit our website, englishfrench.ca, click the Sessions tab at the top, that says Explore Sessions, and you'll be able to see all the different locations that Explore has to offer. So if you want to stay like closer to home, you could stay in Ontario. We have Sudbury, we have Ottawa, so University of Ottawa, Collège Boréal in Sudbury, we have Glendon campus, but then we also have the more obvious choices to everyone, which would be to go to Quebec to learn French. So we have lots of options there. And then as you get older, things open up more as well. There's Nova Scotia, there's BC. The majority of the programs are in person, but you can pick a few that are online. And yeah, so there's lots of different options all across Canada. So I did say we have 3 programs. I'm going to stick to our one, the Explore program, just because that's what you're all here for. But do remember that, like, if your children really enjoy Explore and they want to continue with French, either just to learn French, go into translation, or use the language, or go into education, we also have our Odyssey program, which will offer them a work placement. And I really emphasize that for the future, just because it's good to start thinking about it around grade 12, since they become eligible in their first year of university or college. So it's a great time to make sure that they are at least aware of it and can apply when the portals open. So the Explore program is divided into 2 different, I guess, groups, we can say. We have our 13 to 15-year-old group, which is pretty much the same as everything 16 and up, and then 18 up kind of category. It's just with the 13 to 15-year-old group, the biggest difference is the length of time. So these sessions are in the summer, and they're also around 3 weeks long, give or take a few days. But other than that, they're all pretty much the same. So 13 to 15-year-olds get a 3-week program versus our 16 and up, which are, I'm just going to skip through a few. So I'm presenting the 2 programs. So pretty much the exact same idea as far as the idea of schedules and concept. It's just the 16 and up programs are longer. So we have spring sessions available as well as summer sessions available for 16 and up. The idea for both is that there's 6 hours of courses or activities and workshops. So with the 16 and up, they have spring and summer sessions, depending. Mostly the spring sessions, are for 18 and up, because that's when they go into university and college and their school year changes. So the majority of the ones that allow 16-year-olds will be in the summer anyways, just because high school doesn't end until the summer. And so for the programs, there's options of living on campus or local host family. That will depend mostly on the location that you go to. So if it's a big city, they'll probably have a campus that's big enough to have residents, versus a smaller college or cégep, which they'll have to rely on a host family. So again, I really encourage you to go and kind of explore our sessions tab to see what's available. And if you're looking for a specific thing, like a specific city, a specific province, or you only want a host family, then you can use the filters on our sessions tab to target what you're looking for. So I have a 15-year-old, so you change the age to 15 in the age section, and they want a host family. Or I want to filter by province. I only want what's in Quebec. So you can use all those filters on our sessions page in order to find what you're looking for as far as what programs we offer. So yeah, after campus and local host family, not only do they get that opportunity to live, eat, and breathe French and pretty much roll out of bed and go to class, they'll also be able to meet new friends in their classes, people who are just like them, motivated to learn French, kind of maybe being away from home for the first time, and they're gaining all these experiences and they're doing this together, going to classes together, eating lunch together, then going to activities together. And then when the 3 or 5 weeks are over, then they'll have somebody that's worth visiting in the future, or that they can keep in touch with later on as well. And also the Explore program is a great way to boost resumes. So as they start going into their summer work, maybe they'll be able to put this on their resume and say, yeah, I did this program. It allows me to speak French. And now that they can be the French speaker at their place of work for the summer. And the other main difference for 16 and up is that there's opportunities to also work with the Languages at Work program. So for those who are interested and happen to go to a location that has Languages at Work partner program, basically what it is a way of extending your stay. So most of the locations are 18 and up, but there are some locations that accept 16. And so what happens is basically when you get to the Explore program and you realize, okay, I really want to stay longer, then you'll contact the Languages at Work program, submit a resume. If you pass an interview with the employer, then you can extend your stay by about 3 weeks. You'll work in the city that you've been living in for your Explore experience, and then just continue living there with the Languages at Work program. They'll help arrange your plane tickets or bus tickets, whatever travel arrangements you made. That way you can stay longer, work there. The wage would be minimum wage plus $1. And so this would allow the students to continue practicing their French while also earning a little bit of an income and just, yeah, making it go from a 5-week stay to an 8-week stay. So a typical day, basically what would happen is in the mornings, you'd have all your language focused courses. So for example, when I did it at Laval, I was doing phonics in the mornings, grammar, and conversation courses all in the mornings. And I found the atmosphere very different just because I was surrounded by students that were also motivated to be there. This is something they chose to do with their summertime, which is very valuable. And even the teachers who were there were also really motivated, just because for some of them, this was their summer job. So during the school year, I had my grammar teacher. He was always, he worked in Montreal during the school year as a high school teacher, but he said he loved to come back and teach Explore every year just because the students were so much more motivated, that the energy was there, and he liked being able to teach students who were very present and curious about the language. So you really are going into it in this there's just so much motivation and really good energy, even though like you're probably still doing some grammar and some conversation. That's kind of what makes it a more immersive and more pleasant experience maybe than what the kids are used to in normal school throughout the year. And I also really enjoyed my phonics course, because then that was just playing with your mouth and figuring out like how to make all these nasally sounds and the vowels, and yeah, it was great. So highly recommend that. And then after lunch, the students will have already been assessed before they arrive. So what happens is the beginners are put with beginners, advanced with advanced. So all the grammar courses, they're focused on grammar points that the students need who are a beginner. Those who are advanced, they'll get what they need. And then the workshops are also tailored to their level of French. So somebody who's in a beginner class or a beginner level will have a different workshop available to them than somebody who's more advanced. So when I took it, I was intermediate, and I had to choose between some workshops. And so I chose based on my interests, and I chose improv, versus some of my other friends who were either advanced or more beginner, and they had different options. So some people chose choir, some people chose creative writing. It really depends on what's available for your level of French. And so each location will have things that maybe they're more specialized in. So there might be a campus that wants to offer more music. There might be one that's more geared towards outdoors activities. And then after the workshops, all the mandatory workshops are done, all the mandatory classes, there are activities. So we have some fun activities that are either part of the programming and free, or there's some optional ones where you might have to pay just an additional cost to cover either transportation or the tickets to get in. But there are free activities like I did some yoga in French. We did board game nights, film nights, trivia nights, French cuisine, and sometimes there's organized trips to go on guided tours, hikes, and do some sightseeing. And there's lots of different things that might be happening during that time of year as well that the older students might be able to join in. The older students might have a little bit more leeway when it comes to curfew. Some campuses might allow a group of 4 to leave, go to the mall, come back, or they'll always be chaperoned and they'll have to always stick together. Yeah, so it's a good mix, and there's lots of opportunities to be with students who are like-minded, practice French, and there's still a good amount of free time in the evening, so that way they could maybe go to the recreation room on the campus and watch TV with their new friends or play board games with their new friends, anything that might be in the rec room. So now the costs. So it's free to apply first to start off. If you're iffy, if you're not sure what your plans are for the summer, if something comes up, a new work opportunity for your child or competitions, because I know that can be a thing, going to all various competitions, at least it's free to apply. So even if you change your mind later in the future, at least you didn't miss the deadline. So it's free to apply. You can create an application, make sure all the documents are submitted, and then just wait and see if you get an offer in the draw, or if something else comes up, then you can just withdraw your application or refuse an offer if you do get one. So there's no fee to apply at all. The only time you pay is when you pay the registration fee, and that's only after you've accepted an offer. Once you accept an offer, there's a registration fee of $275, and that goes to the university. Then you pay your travel expenses. So it could be a plane ticket, a bus ticket, however you're getting there. Once the students arrive, we cover their tuition fees because campuses definitely aren't free. So we pay those fees, and we cover any instructional materials. So that could just be like a workbook, usually nothing more than a few course books for what they're learning. And we cover meals and lodging. So meals could be giving the money to the host family to make sure that they can buy enough groceries to feed everyone, or it could be towards a meal plan at their campus's cafeteria. And then the money also goes towards workshops and cultural activities. Some workshops might require a few more materials than others, like the French cuisine or activities that I joined. Somebody has to buy the groceries and ingredients, so the money would have gone towards that. And if there are any optional activities, then those will have to be paid for out of pocket. The types of paid activities will vary per institution, so it'll be good to look at their description on our website. So when you're in the sessions tab and there's one you're interested in, click the read more button, and there'll be a little, about maybe a paragraph or so of possible activities you could do while you're there. So things that happen in a city, like if you're going to Glendon, those options will be different than if you go to Gaspésie, a small town, right? So city versus small town, the types of options will be different. And then you'll be paying for your own personal spending, so snacks, souvenirs. And so those who can apply, you have to be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident first off. Then you have to be a student, part-time or full-time. So in the future, when your children are in 18 plus category, they still have to at least be a student for at least one term during the current school year. And you have to be the minimum age required for that session by day one. So for example, if a session starts on July 1st and it's a 16 to 17-year-old category, you have to be 16 on the first day of that program in order to be eligible for that program. So if your birthday is in November and that's when you turn 16, then you'll only be eligible for the 13 to 15-year-old programs. If you turn 16 in, say, on like June 1st and the program for 16 to 17-year-olds starts on July 1st, then that means you'll have turned 16 in time for the program to start date. We don't need to get into Odyssey, but again, that is just something for the future, more for the grade 12s to know about, so they're ready to apply in their first year of post-secondary. It is a great work opportunity. It's how I got into the programs. So if you have any questions about that, then I can definitely answer those in an email. But let's get to the key dates to remember. The portals are already open, so you can create a profile on our website, or you can download the app and start working on your application. They are due. They need to be completed. You need to see eligible for draw as your status. You need to see that status by February 6th. You need to get all your documents, so proof of Canadian citizenship or permanent resident status. So that includes passport, birth certificate, PR card, what else? Certificate of citizenship, those documents, along with our declaration form, which you can download after you've created your online application. You need to get that signed and stamped by the school, as well as sign the bottom. You need to submit those documents in your online application and then see that it's become eligible for draw. If it doesn't change automatically, please bear with us. It is a manual process. My team has to physically look at all your paperwork and make sure that it changes. So it's not an automatic system. Once you upload everything, a human does have to take a minute to look at it. So don't panic if nothing happens. And don't panic if you see incomplete. Basically, that just means we looked at it and there's something missing. It does not mean you're rejected. It just means incomplete. Just try again, fix the mistake, and then we'll take another look at it. And then when you see eligible for draw, then all you have to do is wait for the draw. The draw will take place February 27th. And if you get an offer on that day, you will have until March 13th to either accept or refuse that offer. Anyone who's forgotten that they applied or they refuse that they refuse the offer, those offers go back into the system, and then we start just handing them out. And then people will have 10 days to accept or refuse, and then it goes back and forth until things settle down. So even if you don't get an offer February 27th, there's still a chance you can get an offer in March, you can get an offer in April, you can get an offer in June. There's no rejection letters, there's no rejection status. We want to make sure the spots are filled to whoever's willing to take them. So that's why we just we continue to have a wait pool. And if somebody withdraws for whatever reason, maybe they're going to the championships for their, I don't know, their soccer team or something, and they have to go, so they have to refuse the funding for the program. They refuse it, then we have to fill that spot. So the offer goes back to whoever is willing, like whoever gets pulled from the system, because it is still a pool. It's not a wait list. So it's not like you're first and then you're second and third. It's you could get something, be 1 out of 100 in the pool or 1 out of 300 in the pool. Really depends on how many people have applied for your choice. And then, yeah, the programs begin. So if the program started and you haven't received any offers, then that means you didn't get anything, and you can try again next year. Yeah, so that brings me to the end of my presentation for Explore. Hopefully I was able to give enough details. If not, now's a great time. If you think of your questions later, you can contact me. This is my email, barbara.baird@ontario.ca. We're also on social media, so if you like to keep tabs on us and see what we're doing, you can also follow us on any one of these. And if you're interested in our app, you can also scan the code. Our app is about, I guess, a year old now. It's the OLP-PLO app. It's really good at filtering out what programs you're eligible for. It'll give you notifications when things are due, when your status changes. So is it incomplete? Is it eligible for draw? Did you get an offer? So that's an option if you're finding things difficult on your laptop.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I just have a couple of questions that have been put into the Q&A here. And can you just talk briefly about taking Explore for the second time? So students are wondering, if they take it this year, are they also able to do it another year, whether it's Explore or Odyssey afterwards, things like that?
So to do Explore again, it is possible. I actually happened to have met somebody when I did Explore who had done it 4 summers in a row. I was surprised, but I will put it out there that we give priority to new participants. So when you create your account, the first time you accept an offer and you complete Explore, that time you're coded as a new participant. And then when you apply again the next year, you're allowed to apply again the following year, but you will be coded as a previous participant. So we give priority to those who are new, but it is possible that you could go again. It really just depends on like all the, I don't know how to calculate probabilities, but there's just a lot of factors that kind of overlap, like how many people apply, your code, if you're late, and then the age group. So the most competitive age group is 13 to 15. So if you're 13, you got to participate when you're 13, and then when you're 14, you want to go again. It might be difficult. I'd say the easiest, like the least competitive age group is the spring sessions for 18 plus. So as you get older, it'll be a lot easier to participate multiple times, just because there are more places that accept 18 and up. And there are also, it's just the time span is the time window is a lot larger. So you can participate again. So if you participate when you're 13, you want to do it again when you're 18, like it is possible.
Perfect. And then just another quick question about lodging. So for those who are staying in residence, are they single rooms or more double rooms, or does it depend really on the institution itself?
Yeah, it's going to depend on the buildings that are available at each campus, because everyone's been built differently. Some, were made in the 60s, some are made, I don't know, more recently, even 2000, who knows? It just depends on what's offered. Like there are some that are so small that they have to have host families bring for places to stay. So it really depends. If you're really interested in a certain campus, you could probably go on their website, see their student services, their YouTube channel, and see if there's like a virtual tour. But there's no guarantee that that particular building is where you're going to stay as Explore students. They probably have a building set aside just for Explore students.
And I noticed on the Explore website too, all of the contact information is listed for all of the institutions. So families are open to reach out to them as well for those specific questions.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I really encourage people to go to the sessions page, because that's when it starts getting to the nitty gritty, like, the contact and their descriptions as well. Because like something close to the sea is going to offer a different experience than something that's like out in the forest.
Sounds good. And do you have any idea of the limit or the number of students who have participated in previous years?
The limit of,
so if there's a limit to certain sites or certain institutions.
Yeah, so the larger campuses will be able to host a larger amount of students. So some places can host about 300 to 400, whereas some smaller places might only have about maybe 150, something like that. So it really depends on where you're going. So yeah, again, it just depends on the institution. So as well as how popular one place is. So if everyone who applies wants just Le Pocatière, or just wants this one place as their first preference, because in their applications they can choose first, second, third, then if that's the only places these people will go, or if that's the only place that you'll go as a student, and you don't check off anything for your second and third choices, and you're limiting yourself to that, then that also impacts your probability of getting anything else, because they don't want to offer you something you'll say no to.
Absolutely. And one thing that I do want to add that I frequently get the question of is, if you are applying to Ottawa U, can you stay at home and go just during the day? And I just want to confirm you that that is not possible. No, you are living in residence. You are fully immersed in the program. So you're not living at home during that time. So just because you're applying in Ottawa doesn't mean you get to stay at home.
Yes, absolutely not. We get that for any families that happen to live close to one of our Explore institutions. We really want to underline the fact that that would be undermining the experience. The room is paid for. Please go use it. That's what the funding is there for. It's to make sure you're immersed. Otherwise, you're going to be missing out on those inside jokes that happen during the weekends if you're going home to your family. And then come Monday, you'll be like, what happened? So you really want to help build that sense of connection and make sure you get to spend that time on campus, because that is what the funding is for, and that is part of immersion.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now, I do notice that there are a couple of other questions. So please feel free to email Barbara if there are those more specific or questions that weren't addressed during this time. But I would like to go ahead and start talking about the credit opportunity as well. So thank you very much, Barbara. I really appreciate it. And you've put up the slide there with englishfrench.ca. So all of the information is there to put in your application, to go to the sessions page in order to be able to see all of what's being offered this summer. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. And yeah, take note of my email, and I look forward to seeing your applications real soon. Have a great evening. Bye.
Thanks, Barbara. So I'm going to go ahead here and share my screen. And so my name is Jessica McGregor, and I'm a teacher at the OCDSB. And one of the things that I work on here is the Explore Credit Program. And this credit opportunity is made possible through using the prior learning assessment and recognition. And I really encourage that to learn more about this process itself, about the challenging process, to go take a look at our website at www.ocdsb.ca/PLAR, PLAR. And I just want to also be clear is you do not need to challenge the credits if you don't want to. You are welcome to participate in Explore for the experience, for the fun. We're just seeing this opportunity for you to be able to challenge OCDSB credits as well. And so this part of the presentation will focus on those requirements for those who would like to challenge 2 high school credits upon successful completion of the Explore program. So once students have the opportunity to PLAR challenge up to 2 high school credits, one of those credits being the French language credit, so the French program that they are currently enrolled, plus a travel and tourism credit or a personal life management course. And you'll notice that both of those have the F on them, signaling that they are a French immersion course. And so they would count as a French immersion elective for students who are working towards a French immersion certificate as well. And like any other course, the student will demonstrate the evidence of their learning related to these courses through their completion of a language portfolio and an oral interview. Now, to give a couple examples, so if you're currently a grade 9 student in the core French program, so you have successfully completed Explore, you've returned, you've successfully challenged the grade 10 core French, and you've also successfully challenged the grade 11 travel and tourism. That means that you are then able to register for the grade 11 core French course the following year. Another possible scenario, if the student is currently enrolled in grade 11 French immersion, you've successfully completed Explore, the portfolio, the interview, you've challenged the grade 12 French immersion course, as well as the travel and tourism, you are then eligible to write the DELF in the fall 2024 session. So you are still able to write the DELF for those of you who would like to, and their grade 12 year, you're still given that opportunity. And students who participate in Explore and choose to challenge the credits will be assessed by using the following tasks. So there's going to be a language portfolio, and then students are required to participate in an interview in order to speak to their experiences. The portfolio is due on the same day as the interview, and the student is expected to be able to use it as a talking point to share their experiences with the person that's doing the interview. These interviews will occur virtually during the summer, and 2 additional times will be offered as well in September 2024 during the first 2 Saturdays of the school year. So these will not be during school time, and the interviews will not occur with students' French teachers. Some things that one might see in a language portfolio. So they might see photos with captions or recordings of video journals, kind of like vlogging style, different journal entries reflecting upon that day's lesson or what they're doing or what they're experiencing in French. Ticket stubs, infographics, written responses. They might include their certificate from Explore as well, and student work that they're doing in class. And the portfolio should be completed should be done virtually, and it can be done using things like Canva, Google Slides, Book Creator. Students are open to select whichever medium suits them best. And students who are challenging grade 12 courses will also be required to submit a written text in addition to the portfolio. And so that more information about that will come once students have been accepted into Explore. During the interview portion, it will occur with a central French teacher virtually in August, or like I said, the first 2 weeks of September. And it will not be conducted by the student's French teacher. So during that interview, students are using those language skills that they've acquired to present their portfolio, respond to images, and read and comment on a text. And I just want to underline here that the completion of the portfolio and the interview are necessary in order to challenge the 2 credits. Just because students participate in Explore does not mean that those credits are automatically going to be offered to students. Students do need to complete the portfolio and the interview. Last year we had over 80 students participate in Explore, or 80 students that I knew of. And so we have 3 testimonials here from students who participated. So I'll just share this here.
My biggest concern that was really preying on me was that my French level wouldn't be good enough and I'd really struggle. And when I got there, I found out a lot of other people were worried about that too. Everyone wanted to help. There was people of all kinds of French levels. And so there was always someone saying, she's saying this, right? She's saying that. So it's not that big of a deal.
What I gained is a better understanding of French and how to use it in different circumstances. It allowed me to learn different types of French, how they're used, and also how to use my French to be understood by every different type of person.
Before I started at the Explore program, my French level was the beginning, like 0 level, before I was going to 12, yeah. Once I got back from the program, it leveled up to grade 10 French.
When you go to French class, you do a little bit of French for in a class, 75 minutes, and then right back to English. When you're in Explore, it's just French for 3 weeks. Your brain just makes that switch. All the French classes, Explore taught me more than all of that.
So a great thank you to those students who offered their time. And one big question that I'm getting from students is, if they've participated in Explore last summer, can you challenge the credits again? And so like Barbara said, it is a bit harder to be able to apply to Explore. They do try and give priority to students who have never participated before. But if you are accepted into Explore and you are able to go again, yes, you are able to challenge an additional 2 credits. And this goes back to you're able to challenge up to 4 credits through prior learning assessment and recognition. And up to 2 of these courses can be in one discipline. So for example, 2 of those courses could be in French. And if the student is above 18, it's a little bit different. And so that if that applies to you, please feel free to send an email, and I'm happy to assist on that. I'm just taking a look at the questions here as well. So here, our current grade 12 students, students who are grade 12, you're welcome to participate in Explore. Because you're graduating though, we wouldn't have you challenge the credits. So you're more than welcome to participate in Explore, but you wouldn't do the credit challenge portion.
And then I can help you with the questions.
Yeah.
So one of them is, where do you write and submit the application? Where do you find the information? So if we could just reference Barbara's QR code again.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have, or maybe, oops. Yeah, so I think that is on there to be able to get to the English French. And one thing that I do really want to make clear as well is you are, as students, it is going to be your responsibility to let us know that you've applied. And so what's going to follow this information session as well is just a Google form to let us know that you've applied to Explore. And this is going to allow us to be able to follow up with you before you leave, if you have any questions while you're there, and then in order to facilitate that challenge process once you've returned. And so by letting us know, you'll be invited to a Google Classroom where there'll be information about the challenge requirements, signing up for an interview time, and then a place in order to submit your portfolio as well.
One of the questions is, do you have a better chance of getting accepted if you are enrolled in the ICP, in the International Certificate Program?
No, there's no effect, because Explore is an independent organization. It is not connected to OCDSB. I don't believe that they would take that into consideration when looking at acceptance.
And then another question about, how do you find out about the number of high school credits awarded for each session? Does it differ by location? So just stressing the OCDSB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the credits are done through the OCDSB. The credits are not done through Explore. So we're using the prior learning assessment recognition in order to be able to award for students to challenge credits through that process. And so it does not differ depending on what institution you go to. It is only open to OCDSB students. So if you've stumbled upon this from a different school board, I just want to stress that this opportunity is for OCDSB students.
If my friend and I apply to the same place, will we get the same location, or will we be randomly placed?
So I have heard that if you apply with the first, second, and third choice as the same for both friends, then you have you're more likely to be placed at the same one, but it's not guaranteed. You can always see what offer gets proposed to you and then decide at that point whether or not you'd still like to participate. I will say though, I did have students that were nervous about traveling without knowing anyone, and everyone was thrilled when they got back. They made friends so quickly and so easily, so that shouldn't be a big concern.
Would the language portfolios be in French or English?
The language portfolio is in French. And again, I do want to stress that we had students like Khadija that you saw in the video that were just starting learning their French. And after spending 4 or 5 weeks in French, Khadija was able to completely do her language portfolio in French based on what she was able to do, and have a full hour-long interview in French afterwards as well. So you will be capable to do the whole thing in French.
Is there a minimum level of French required for the program?
Not at all.
And can we get a copy of the slideshow?
Absolutely. I'm more than happy to send us a copy of the slideshow. And you will notice that we have recorded the session as well. And so that will be sent out with this slideshow.
I didn't catch Miss Baird's email, full email. Can you share it again?
Yep. I will just go and grab it, and I'll see if I can put it in the chat just so that you can take a look at it there.
Can a student entering grade 9 in September 2024 earn a credit?
At this time, we're leaving it open to students who are currently in grade 9, grade 10, and grade 11. So those who are entering grade 10, 11, and 12 next year.
And when do you apply to challenge the process, before or after you do the program?
So you'll let us know that you have applied, but you'll challenge the credits once you have returned and you've completed the program.
And maybe Jessica, if you could just mention a little bit about the Google Classroom that they'll be invited to as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the Google Classroom, you'll be with all of the students who will be participating in Explore. And in that, what I have put together are a couple of resources that can help with your writing, that can help with portfolio development, all of the instructions for what should be included in your portfolio, different documents that you can, or artifacts that you can collect as you're going. So for example, for the travel and tourism class, things like, how different tourist attractions are protecting their environment and are contributing to sustainability. And so it's reminding you to be on the lookout for those things while you're traveling so that you can document some of that evidence to put it in your portfolio.
And what is the likelihood of the credits being successfully challenged?
I can say that of all of the students who challenged credits this past summer, 100% were successful in their challenge. I cannot say that that is a guarantee, but I can say that those were our numbers this year.
And can you also just speak to the rubrics that you provide so they know exactly what's required to attain a certain level?
Absolutely. So for for all the courses, for the portfolio and the interview, there are detailed rubrics ranging that will tell you exactly what the requirements are and what the expectations. What does a level 3 look like? What does a level 4 look like? There are also examples of portfolios as well, so what that might look like that are on the Google Classroom. So we really do try and provide students with the tools to be able to succeed and to be able to complete the portfolio in a way that's as least stressful as possible. But it is work.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's a question, are grade 12 students who participate in Explore eligible to challenge the DELF exam in semester 1 of their last year? So to challenge the DELF, you need to be in a grade 12 student with the OCDSB. So if this is a student that is currently in grade 11, going to Explore in July or August, entering grade 12 in September, they would be eligible to challenge the DELF in the first semester. What percentage of applicants actually got into a program last year?
That I don't know necessarily. Based on the student, there were a number of students who did tell me before they left for Explore that they had applied. I believe that there was two or three students who were waitlisted, but did get spots before they left in July.
Okay, thanks, Jessica. Ramsey, is there anything else that you'd like to add about the PLAR process?
I think I would like to mention, Lori, that PLAR Challenge is something that's available to all students, regardless of whether or not they're going to participate in Explore and have a great time in Explore. So whether or not you are participating in Explore, or there are other life experiences or prior learning that you have in your in your career, in your education, consider checking it out, because it is available to all high school students in the OCDSB. There's a lot of information on the page, so I'd encourage you to go to ocdsb.ca/PLAR. And if there's any information on there that you cannot find the answer to on the page, we are happy to respond by email.
Perfect. Thanks, Ramsey. And I would just add that as Barbara said, and as Jess was highlighted, that each institution that offers the Explore program has very specific criteria to their program. So please be sure to log in to the Explore page to see what each institution offers and what is required. If you do have Explore questions, Jessica will reshare Barbara's email address. But if you have any further questions about the challenging for the 2 credits, you're welcome to email fsl@ocdsb.ca, and we'd be happy to answer those questions for you. And Jessica will also include that information in the email that she sends out to everyone who registered for this presentation this evening. But at this time, we're going to bring it to a close, and we'd like to thank everyone for their interest, and we look forward to names coming forward for the Explore program this summer. Thank you very much. And thank you to Ramsey and Jessica for joining us this evening as well.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.